guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the EU4 Report. I'm your host, Not Belkalai. Let's get right into this.
EU Sports. It's in the game.
This week's session was full of player wars, most notably the Karamanese conquest of Constantinople and the Yemeni hordes ravaging Ethiopia. We're also seeing the start of the all-important Breton-Mexican Wars. I've got several player interviews lined up for today, starting with Yemen.
I am Argnus. I am the Yemen. I'm a nice guy. Totally not evil.
It was very interesting you go on the defensive immediately. But how was this session for you?
I was fine. Me and Ethiopia had an honorable 1v1. Ethiopia lost, but it was a good war and he did a good job. Then I helped out Karaman to get Constantinople with Florence, which felt bad for Moldavia. But, you know, it really be that way sometimes.
So who would you say is the best, most promising player out there on that map?
Florence. Brittany's a close second. If you go and look over at what he did in Mexico, it's actually pretty solid compared to the 2 sessions of him sitting there doing.
I'm glad you have an eye for the talent out there. Now tell me, what are your plans for the next session?
I'm just going to keep attacking Ethiopia over and over again until he ceases to exist.
Is that not just bullying?
Yes. I feel like you get what you want out of the game.
So tell me, who do you believe is going to win the Great Breton-Mexican War?
I mean, real answer is Breton, but you know, meme answer is the Mexicans, so I'm going to say I want the Mexicans to win. Mostly because I know you're going to edit me in a negative light.
Well, I believe you've just shown your disgusting duplicitous nature. We ban bias here on the EU4 report. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Looking at the map briefly, you may notice 2 new nations have joined the colonial race. Norway has colonized or conquered provinces on the east side of both America and Argentina, with a new colonial nation in the Caribbean. Meanwhile, Congo has secured itself 3 provinces on the eastern coast of Brazil. With colonizing being such a challenge, due to about half the server lagging behind, we'll have to keep an eye on this and see where it goes. Now, on to another controversial moment from this week's session. I'm going to be interviewing Haishi, the leader of Moldavia, who had Constantinople torn from them by the Karamanese.
I'm Haishi. I am playing, unfortunately, Moldavia. So we've been having a little bit of a rough time in the fireplace that is my country. We had Constantinople for a while, but then the giddy babies of Karaman took it from us.
So tell me, besides the declaration from Karaman, what was another defining moment of this session?
My dear friend, the Wallachia player, Brandy, decided that he wanted to go into Karaman again, allying Nogai, guns blazing. Once Wallachia was occupied, with that war, I got declared on by Giga Commonwealth, and we don't love her.
Now I can confirm that the rumors are true. We do not love the Commonwealth. However, tell me, how do you plan on surviving the next session?
Whatever way I'll survive is the way I'll survive. Whether that's helping the Anatolians or not, that's some sort of future I don't know if I could see or not.
Touching again on survival, I would like to ask, who do you believe poses the biggest threat to you right now?
If I were to say the player that was probably the most intimidating to me at the moment, I would definitely say Yemen. Though Florence is also really strong. This channel, I believe, also has the time-lapse of this game on it.
Speaking of intimidating players, what are your opinions on the Breton-Mexican War?
You know, I've always been a firm believer of Xauchitlicue and the other Aztec gods, so
it's a shame we ran out of time there and couldn't hear thoughts on the matter. Now, looking at religion, it seems the Reformation came in full force, forcing Catholicism into Iberia and the Commonwealth. Interestingly, Hesse and Florence have both gone Orthodox. Now, some have said that this shouldn't be allowed. However, Florence, being one of the arbiters, conducted an investigation into himself and cleared himself of any wrongdoing. Now, last session, you'll recall there was a bit of controversy with the ganking of both Saxony and Brandenburg. Here with me now in the studio is the perpetrator of the alleged ganks.
I'm Catrix. I'm playing Hess.
Let's not bandy words about. Do you have any remorse for what you did to Saxony?
No, I think what I did was perfectly fair.
I see. Now we've had some alarming reports of war crimes committed in this war. What's your response to this?
If any war crimes were done, they were done by Poland and Burgundy.
I find that hard to believe, considering your reputation for atrocities. Apparently you take great pleasure in them. Is this true?
Yes, let's go with that.
Well, that's deeply unsettling. There has been a new alliance rule introduced. Some are saying this is directly due to you. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, it's true, although, interestingly enough, at no point were more than five allies in the war. At different points, different numbers of allies came in that totaled up to 8, but at no individual point were there more than 5 allies. So the same thing could happen.
It's true what they say, you do feel chills when you're close to a predator. Now, looking at institutions for a moment, they have indeed spread. The Breton homelands, birthing colonialism, last session has meant the advancement of humankind, and all players do owe Brittany a debt. Our next interview may contain some sensitive material, as we are going to be interviewing the Ganki, formerly Saxony and now Mali.
Hello, I am the Spanish influenza. I am the head of formerly Saxony, now Mali.
Just for clarity's sake, would you mind naming the player that ganked you last session?
That would be Catrix the Evil, head of Hess.
It's very brave of you to name your attacker. I hope you know, we offer free counselling after the show. But tell me, is revenge on your mind?
Well, I mean, I do hate Mormons, and I'm pretty sure Catrix is a Mormon, so, yeah.
Moving past that understandable bigotry, does this mean Mali's intentions lie in Europe?
Mali is a strong country prepared to take back its historical homeland of Poland.
I see. European ambitions aside for the moment, it's come to my attention that you were in a war against Ethiopia. How has that gone?
We tried to take on Ethiopia. It went badly. Essentially, Henrique, leader of Ethiopia, has murked up to 90k troops. And the only thing that saved us was the fact that he could not actually see Congo.
Looking across the ocean for a moment, to what has been called the most pivotal moment of the multiplayer so far, what do you think the outcome is going to be of the Mexican-Breton War?
I will be backing me against the Bretons to take the Mexican colony that they may or may not get.
Well, I for one am heartened to see that karma is in full force for individuals such as Spanish influenza. Before we go on to our last section, a brief look at the Great Powers list. Topping the list we have Manchu, followed by Delhi and Yemen. One of only 2 AIs on this list, France, comes in at 4th. Then it's Akinyulu, followed by Andalusia, followed closely by the Commonwealth and Hosokawa. To end this week's episode of the EU4 Report, just before the time-lapse itself, I'd like to get some of our players' opinions on real-world politics.
Yemen should die.
Brandy wasn't such a giggling asshole.
West Africa is kind of a shithole.
Cut it! Yes, so, I can only apologise for those disturbing comments. Enjoy the time-lapse.
Mexico should cease to exist.
I thought we got rid of him!
If you didn't understand all the references in this video, make sure to join the Discord in the description below.
last time I checked in, I only had a few islands. Your boy's got Mexico now. And screw you, Congo.
Hello, my children. I must give you a message. Subscribe to the social streamers for eternal salvation.